All right, it's Tuesday, March 26th, 7 a.m. I've only been able to find 3 charts to work off of so far. Just watching this level, we're at the previous day high. That's the yellow line. So I was looking to see if there's any resistance there. But if it closes above here, then I won't be watching this level, I don't think. Maybe looking for a retest of the high. All right, so I've got to close above here. So right now I have an ELO here, so first entry, second entry would be below the next bar. Hey there, Saggy. How are you? So I'm just going to be careful here. This is one of those situations that I'm still observing. If it gets triggered below this bar, for instance, we had to close above, the trigger would be below. So I'm watching these to see if they work. So far, they're 6 out of 6 since I've been paying attention. But I'm still not going to take a trade like this yet. Just need more confirmation. Looks like it's about to trigger. Didn't trigger yet, but this would be a trigger underneath the previous day high. So in theory, it would work, but I want to see it work again. Hey Gary, how are you? Morning. So just sitting on my hands here. All right, so that triggered. So far, these have worked every time when it triggers underneath. And again, not worrying about whether it's a bullish bar or not. It's just about where this level is the previous day high. Trying to work, still not at my profit yet. All right, now it's good enough for 11 tick scalp, and let's see. Still, it's, I think, one tick shy of getting to where I would need it to go for my profit target on my auto stop. So if I was in this trade, I would have been in it all the way up here. My stop would have been right there, so that would have been a close one. Looks like it's not going to go on to work for the full scalp target I would have been going for, maybe. Let's see here. And there it goes. Okay, so it would have worked. So that's 7 out of 7 times where I'm observing these kinds of trades. And so far, I'm just seeing that when I have a close above an important level like this, if the trigger happens below it, I can still take it for short. But if the trigger happened above that line, then I should stay out. But when the trigger happens below, it seems to be safe, even though the close is above it here. So I don't know. I'm just still watching those. I've had enough losses in these areas that I'm just being particularly careful there. All right, so I've got 3 charts. I wasn't able to ever find a 4th chart. I might continue to just poke around and see if there's any other chart that looks good to me. Just another day where there's not a ton of price action this morning so far. Look at the smaller chart here. A lot more price action on this one. right, so I was and still am planning on trading PA2 first, which is my account that's closest to qualifying for a payout, just under $400 away. Just looking at this, I guess technically this is a first entry, second entry here, but I didn't notice it. Yeah, looks like it's about to work. All right, I wasn't paying attention there. A little close to that line, but enough for him to take it, I guess. It was also a pretty big bar, 78 ticks. So with the little volume again, it might be another day where there's very limited options for trades. So I'll just have to see how the day goes here. There's also, days like this and on charts of this size, when I'm looking for second entries that have worked for the chart, there's way less of them during the overnight when there's this little price action on this chart. So even though they've all worked, there's not a whole lot of them. I mean, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 and 6. So there's only been 6 entries so far in this chart. So usually there's way more than that by the time I start. So it's kind of like less to go on. In a way, it makes me trust it less, but I'm still kind of seeing how things work out on these kinds of days, because you don't have a lot of days with low volume on NQ. Sagi says price action is not good for me today. Yeah, I mean, it's just low volume, so I can understand that. It's not great for me either. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Any trades so far for you, Sagi? Any news coming in? No, the last news I have was at 7 my time, which was 15 minutes ago, which didn't really do much that I noticed when I started my stream. It's right around here. So it may just be another quiet day here. I'll have to see. It's interesting. I had this second entry short set up here. It was pretty ugly looking. I had another one on this chart. Is it? Let me see. No. I guess it's not really a second entry. I was looking from here. That's not really a new low. Never mind. I don't think that one really counts. This one counted. Looks like you just missed a buy entry. I don't really know what this market's doing. It's like it's a failed second entry short on the daily. Because we got a new low, first entry short, second entry short, and now it's ticking above. So maybe this thing will have legs to start moving on out of here to the upside. I guess we'll kind of have to see if it can reach the previous high of the day, and then if it can keep going or not. There's a gap on the chart again, all the way down here. It's the low from, or the previous day close, which is below the overnight low. So if it doesn't start working toward that way soon, I'm not sure it's going to close it. It might just keep going higher. Today I'm definitely going to have to wrap up by 9 latest. That'll give me just enough time to do the review video after my live stream. So we'll see how the day's going. This is really slow. On this chart, there's a first entry, and a second entry would be below the previous day high line. So another opportunity to see if it triggers below, if it would work, even though the close of this candle is right above it or right on it. So again, another instance where I'm just going to observe it, but look, it already worked. So that's 8 out of 8 times. So he says might flush down. Yeah, I agree. There's definitely a point of resistance here. Wow, look at that. Yeah, so I mean, I'm getting every indication so far that I'm safe to take the trade as long as it triggers above or below. You know, if I'm going short, as long as it triggers below my key entry level, it seems like I can take the trade 8 out of 8 times. I'll check it 2 more times and see what happens out of 10 before I start taking these. But I think my rule is basically going to be that when I have, you know, a previous day high like this yellow line, if the trigger, if I have a short setup and the trigger is going to happen above it, then I won't take it. But if the candle closes on it or above it, but the trigger happens below it, then I can take it. I think that's what my rule is going to be. Like you said, going up in the volume. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a natural point of resistance from the previous day's high. So I'm not surprised that it held here, it's holding here. I also wouldn't be surprised if it's trapping shorts and then goes. So it's just hard to say. You know, I'm looking at this chart. There's a little bit more detail. So on this one, it looks like made a high, made a new high. So that might not get a new high. still always considering that there's going to be a gap that closes on days like this. But price has been held up by the opening price since it opened the regular session. So kind of in a small range here during the regular session so far. So will there be a breakout to the upside or a breakout to the downside is going to be the question. All right, so here I have a first entry, potential second entry here. But again, this will be going really close into the previous day high, so I'm not sure I'm going to take this. There's room, but not a lot of room, and it's just gotten rejected from this level, so twice. So I'm not sure I want to go long here. See what happens on this chart. All right, so let's see what happens here at the opening price. Flashing through. Saggy got his first trade, $74. Nice job. I'm getting little flurries of lag on my chart, little touches of lag. So it definitely looks like we're going to go and close the gap. Or try to. All right, I just lost this smaller chart. There's a first entry, second entry here. And I wasn't even considering it because I am expecting it to close the gap, and it just wasn't at like any obvious level of holding to me. And that was the first time an entry didn't work on this chart, so I'll not be watching that chart anymore. So I'm just on the bigger charts now. And at this point, I have every expectation of closing the gap. This is interesting because it's setting up a second entry long here. I don't think I want to risk either, just because I feel like the destination is down here. It's kind of a weird day. I mean, there's plenty of room for it to go my small amount for it to work. But just letting it go. It's triggered. And it worked. So again, another day where I'm being hesitant, but I'm okay with it because it's just, there's so little price action on these charts. And, you know, again, here's a case where I really think it's going to close the gap all the way down here. So even though it worked, I think I'm making good decisions to just wait and wait for a better spot. Now it looks like this chart is setting up 1, 2. First entry would be a second entry here, so even higher. I'm just gonna wait. I don't love what price action's doing right now, and just not feeling it. The great thing is because there's no payout window right now, it's like I have plenty of time to get this $400. So I don't, there's nothing going on right now that is making me feel like I need to take trades during times like this where, just things aren't setting up where I want them to set up, and there's limited kind of price action to go by. So I'm just going to stay patient, whether it works or not. Technically, with my system, I'm supposed to be taking all of these trades. Well, at least this one here and this one here. I'm supposed to take them, but just being a little bit more careful. This one still hasn't worked for my profit target. So he says, I don't know why, but today looks like a boring day. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like yesterday. Just, price action's been very sideways, small range. I mean, I guess it's bigger than it looks on my charts because here 601 to now 45. So there's 60 points in there. From the top to the bottom, there's 100 points in today's session. But most of the action since the open was just between here, so around 40, 45 points. But yeah, not ideal price action, not really easy to trade for me. It looks like, I mean, there's definitely been setups, but here, so this ultimately went on to work. it's funny in a way because of the apex payout window. It's kind of helping me to not feel like I need a trade today in something that, you know, isn't the best for my strategy. But still have plenty of time. Still have over an hour. All right, this was a second entry here. I also chose to not take it because I wanted it to happen off of the opening price line. And looks like it already worked. So just being hesitant today. I don't know. I don't like these low volume days. I would have much preferred this to push up here and give me that entry. And I'm sure this is my psychology at work again because I'm so close to the payout on this account that I'm just like wanting to only take perfect entries. And yeah, this is the thing about my trading psychology really is just truly like that pressure I put on myself, right? When I'm close to this payout, that I'm just trying to like be so careful, which the other 3 or 4 times I've been really close to a payout ended up messing me up. And I never did get to the payout. So I've got to kind of regulate what I do here. But it doesn't help to like be trading on a day like today, when I'm just like not really trusting. I guess the only thing I could have trusted here was I do believe that we're going to retest the previous day close, which would close the gap. So at least that was in the direction of what I believe is going to happen. So I probably could have and should have taken that trade. But certainly there was no rule to keep me out of it there. I mean, the other thing I could do is just not trade PA2 today and just choose to trade something else. Or just choose to trade evaluations only. That would take the pressure off. Then I'd just trade freely because I could just pick one of my new evaluations that haven't been traded yet, and there's like no skin in the game on those. Yeah, $30. $30 on the line to trade one of those as opposed to an account that matters at this point. So Sagi said he didn't know why today looks like a boring day, and for me, yeah, it really is kind of a boring day. I just, it's like when there isn't a lot of volume, you don't get a sense for like momentum, really. It's just different. It's much easier for me to get into a rhythm when there's just kind of like more action, right? I've still got 3 good charts I'm watching, so maybe I'll find something that I like where it's happening. And yeah, again, today could be like yesterday where even if I only get one trade and I do trade PA2, that would still be a successful day for me if I were to get a win and move it one step closer. So just going to be patient. It's so funny just how like everything for me is like riding or hinging on this PA2. It's like getting that payout will just relieve so much in my trading that I can just trade so much more freely after that happens. I'm 400 away. It's like I'm so close. But I've already been there where I've been closer than that. I mean, literally closer than that. And 3 or 4 times and didn't get there and then ended up going on to blow up those PA accounts. So $400 is like nothing, but at the same time, it's everything right now. It's pretty funny. But I've been this patient to get there, so there's no reason for me to push it or trade outside of myself to like try to make it happen sooner. Because we all know with my risk strategy, I can easily lose 600 on a trade or more. So I don't want to put myself 600 more behind. So I'm just going to wait and make sure when I take the trade, it's what I like. But yeah, my trading's really slowed down, but I'm sure for a lot of people, it's like they've either, in these market conditions, they've either slowed down their trading or they're taking more hits, because this is choppy. It's smaller ranges. And anyone that's like a gunslinger in this kind of market, usually they end up getting caught. And I notice too, when I'm playing these larger tick charts, it does kind of remove the noise from the chart. So that helps as well for my strategy. But when I'm playing these charts, it just really slows everything down, which is good because it really limits the number of entries that appear for me. So right there, it's already like a form of risk management by using these bigger tick charts. But it definitely makes for, like what Sagi said, a more boring day on days like this. But I just can't go to smaller tick charts. The only smaller tick chart I had, I showed how it just recently had an entry that failed. So I don't have an option to do it if I wanted to. Sagi says I might close today, break even. Oh, you took a loss after that win? Sorry to hear that. Break even is still good. In my mind, break even is a good day. Flat day is a good day. Any day where I don't see red numbers is a good day. Even if it's small red numbers, I'll take it, especially on a day like today. It's just not an easy trading day, I don't think, for any system. So he says, nah, now in trade, but I think it gonna hit stop loss. He got tempted in again. Well, with your system, if you do take a loss, it won't be a big loss. So you always can live on to fight again. I haven't heard you say you've taken a really big loss yet on a single trade. So that helps. It's an interesting day for me because I definitely could have had a couple trades already. And two of them, for sure, like, there was no doubt that there was no rule that I have in place to stop me from taking the trade. It's just my own kind of hesitancy on the day, just based on the day and based on wanting to not make a mistake with my account before it gets to a payout. So the trick will be if I end up not getting any trades today, the trick will be, does that get to me? Am I thinking about it all day? And does it make me, be more aggressive tomorrow or do anything different? That will be interesting to see if that's how things go. Saggy says my position size is fixed by 2 MNQ contracts. The market should fall 200 to 300 points to give me a big loss. Yeah, but you don't stay in that long to take a big loss like that from what it seems like. It seems like you're willing to take your losses well before any huge move like that. That's just my impression based on our conversations we've had so far. Yeah, Sagi says his biggest loss is 300 or so, he thinks. Well, let's see what happens here, because I'm really surprised that price wasn't able to get lower. I was just checking a second ago because this is a new low. This isn't quite as low as that, but it's lower than this. So you can also count it maybe as a double bottom here. So you can kind of say first entry short, second entry short here. But I don't know. It's kind of messy to me to count it that way. So I'm just sitting on my hand still. I'll be interested to see what happens if it does trigger below this bar. But I don't really like taking it off account like that. These low volume days really came at the wrong time for me though, because I now have so many accounts again. I think I have a total of 10. Yeah, total of 10 accounts. So I've got 2 that haven't been traded on yet. I've still got 2 evaluations that are really close to passing for a PA. So I've got a lot of accounts going on in good spots. I just need more setups. Or to just be more comfortable on a day where I feel confident to take trades. All right, so this obviously never triggered here. But whenever it does tick below a candle coming up, I won't be taking that. Not on this chart anyway. So it's interesting this held here. I mean, is there, it's even short of that. Yeah. So I don't know, this might be showing signs of like not being able to close the gap and going long, but just never know on days like this. See what the daily looks like now. And it's just like the sideways stuff for 4 days now. Well, it's a low energy Tuesday. That's what I'm going to call it. The way this market's moving, I'm going to go back to bed for an hour. All right, so you got a $50 to $54 win. Nice. I'm just like paralyzed here. I just don't see a trade I can get into anytime soon. See this chart. Nice chart. We have a first entry, so there could be a second entry here, potentially. Maybe this is a spot I would consider taking one on this chart near the opening price. We're now on the other side of it. So I'll think about this if it sets up. At least this chart, it's a cleaner count than the other chart I was looking at. So today's Sagi's first trade was plus 74, second trade minus 21, third trade plus 54. Good. So you're in the positive like that. I don't like how this is backing up on me. Hey. All right, this is not good for me. Not good at all. I think I'm going to get caught here, unfortunately. Maybe I'll get lucky, but I'm not feeling good about it. Oh man, I'm going to take a hit right before a payout window. Come on, turn back down. We're supposed to close the gap. I don't like this at all. It's going to get me. Come on, push down. Come on, we're supposed to close the gap down here. See, this is what used to happen to me. I used to skip all these trades and then get in on a trade like this that turns into a loser. And this is what I've been good at not doing lately. But then I get close to a payout and I start skipping trades, and then it puts me in this position, right? So I do this every time I get close to a payout. I skip, and then take the losing trade. Ugh. This is a bummer. Turn down. Really giving me a scare there. All right. Maybe I have a chance. Nah, it's going to get me. This is the problem when I get close to a payout. I do this to myself. It's like self-sabotage. I skip so many trades that work, and then I take the one that fails. Not over yet, though. Maybe I'll get lucky, but it just doesn't look good. Give it like one extra tick just in case, maybe. Give it one extra tick just in case. Turn down, come on. Come on, you're supposed to close the gap down here. All right, I did it to myself again. Oh man. This is truly like just comedy. Every time I get close to a payout, I start skipping trades. I'm not doing my system the way I'm supposed to, and then I take a hit. Really annoying. All right, time to update the stats. It's like I have such good patience, but it really is. This is where I do the worst is when I start not trading my system the way I've been trading it, and I start picking and choosing which trades I take. I could have already had 2 or 3 winners today, and I'm waiting, picking and choosing, and then that's when the loss comes on this account. All right. Well, it's not the end of the world. Just going back down to 51,600. So I was 400 away. Now I'm 1,000 away. Yeah, when it comes to PA2, I'm so emotional in trading it. Sagi says it's true. I mean, I don't know how to get over that, because like I'm so invested in just wanting to get that payout, But it messes with my mind, and it keeps me out of good trades that I could have already been in. That account could have already had a winning trade today, 2 or 3 times over, maybe even 4. And instead I wait, because I'm waiting for a trade that had like more reasons to believe in it. So this was like testing the opening price again, which was support before. So I was playing it as resistance. The EMA is there, and I have a reason to believe it's going to close the gap. So you're right, Sagi. I'm way more emotional, especially today, just because, when you get to within $400 of the payout, you just, I don't know how you don't just start, counting on it to happen. But every time I get that close, I run into a roadblock. All right. And also because I've been trading this account for 36 days now, 36 traded days on it. So the dream continues to be put on hold. But I mean, I do much better when I'm just not thinking about it, right? When I'm just taking the trades as they come, and I'm not thinking about it too much. That's when I do better. When I wait and pick and choose, that's when I wait and wait for the first chart or the first trade on the chart. That doesn't work. It happens to me like every time. So I really gotta check myself on that, because my system is supposed to be that I don't apply any of my own subjective analysis to why I take my trades. I'm supposed to just trade the chart. And if I had done that, I'd be better off, because I would have already had 3 or 4 trades, and I wouldn't have even been on PA2 anymore. So I just get frustrated. There's always frustration, but today I'm just frustrated with myself because I'm not trusting my chart. And then, so I'm going back to my old ways. Like this loss represents my old ways of trading. Anyway, it's one loss. The account's fine. It's not in trouble or anything. It's just want to get that first payout so bad. All right, so I'm also down to just 2 charts now. I'm not going to trade this chart anymore. So I will move on to PA6. The other funny thing is, just because I have 50K PAs or 150K PA and then the 225K PAs, I mean, the reality is when I'm 1,000 away now on the 50K, it's almost the same as how far away I am on the 25K. I'm 1,500 away here. I'm 1,000 away here. So when I do something like this, for all I know, I'll get to a payout faster on PA6 or PA7 faster than I will PA2. But anyway. In any case, I still have 1,900 drawdown. Not in any danger on the account. I'll absorb that loss. I'll get back to trading the way I'm supposed to. And I just got, yesterday and today, both just very hesitant. And yesterday, this account dodged a loss by 1 tick. So I guess I couldn't dodge it for longer than a day. Thanks, Sagi. Sagi says he feels for me. Yeah, just, it's just the typical frustrations of trading that everyone goes through. Just when you're so close and you can taste it, but then it changes. That's the thing about prop firms is, you have these goals you have to reach. And so when you get closer, it adds more pressure and you think about it. And it changes the way you trade, changes the way I trade. It's happened every time, like literally. I've been so close to a payout, 5 times. And every time I get close, I start, the more careful, the more hesitant, and the more like picky choosy I get, that's when I go wrong. That's when I get losses. When I'm more of like just freewheeling my trades and just taking them as they come and not putting a lot of thought into it, that's when I do better. So anyway, I'll get over this loss. Tomorrow I'll come back. These numbers will be 0. And I'll just say to myself, I'm 1,000 away and be right back in the grind. Today I'm moving on. PA6 would be my next account that I trade. I missed Sagi's comment earlier. The magic you're looking for is in the work you are avoiding. Yeah, I didn't see that comment earlier, but that's true. It's like my hesitancy and my trying to avoid getting the loss and being set back like I now am on this account. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I shouldn't be, when I'm not thinking about the money aspect, my trading is quite good. So I just need to focus on sticking with my system, trading it the way it's supposed to be traded, which is to not be analyzing and over-analyzing the reasons why I take my trades. And that would probably get me to where I want to be faster. And I really am putting too much importance and focus on PA2 because, look, the reality, like I just said, is PA6 is not that far behind PA2. I mean, I could be just as focused on PA6 and get it there before even PA2 gets there. So you just, my system is supposed to be designed on the fact that it doesn't matter which account gets there, just at least one of them will. So I need to get back to playing my system the proper way. And this week, yesterday and today, both days, I just haven't been feeling it. So I got to recognize that. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to follow my system, then I should just not be trading that day. Anyway, this is another prime example of why I trade one account at a time. And I'm not copy trading because for as bad as this particular loss feels for me today, and usually losses don't bother me too much, but this one bothers me. Imagine how much worse I'd feel if I was copying this to other accounts at the same time. Honestly, the trade shouldn't bother me as much as it's bothering me because it fit the rules of what my system is. The thing it's not that I took this trade that's bothering me and that it was a loss. It was the fact that I skipped other trades that didn't break any of my rules that I could have been in that would have worked for that account. And I think that's what I'm more bothered by. I should clarify. It's not that I took this trade and I lost. It's that I didn't take other trades that would have won before the loss came. So, because this is a good example of what happens when I'm not following my system, because my system literally is supposed to be to take every second entry as long as there's not a rule to not take it. And if I had done that, I would have had at least 2 wins for sure, or at least 2 of them happened at roughly the same time. So I would have had at least 1 win before this, maybe 2. And so then I would be 2-1 for the day. And that's where my edge lies, is the fact that I should always have more winners than losers. But when I'm picking and choosing, then I'm waiting for the loss. It doesn't make sense, because the loss will come. I know that. All right, Saggy. Saggy's going to have dinner. Have a good one. He says, trashy price action today, so don't be emotional. Yeah. It's just what I just explained. It's just because I today and yesterday both deviated from the way I'm supposed to be trading the system, so I'm not taking advantage of my edge. And that's all it is. Just even saying that out loud just makes me remember, it's like I can't be afraid of losses, because then I'm just going to set myself up for a loss. I got to just trade the system knowing that losses are going to come, but also I got to trust the system to take the trades, knowing that, In just under 3 months' time, I'm 150 wins and 35 losses. So I know losses are going to come, but I get way more winners, right? Way more winners. And I gotta trust the system for the numbers to work out that way. If I'm skipping and picking, then the numbers won't work out that way. So anyway, have a good night, Saggy. All right. So I don't have much more time to trade today. It's a very slow market, and I've got a loss. So I'm just gonna chill, and I'm actually down to one chart now. We've got one chart left, so there's three possibilities for the rest of my day, which is there won't be any more setups, and I'll finish the day 0-1, or there'll be at least one more setup, and maybe I'll be 1-1 for the day, or I will manage to get the first loss on this chart as well, and that will end my day there. So, see what happens first. Also, before my last loss, I was just talking about how I was taking notice of that it wasn't able to get to the previous day low and close the gap. And I was saying if it can't do it, it's probably going to go higher. But man, it was just set up in kind of the right place. Like I really liked it. It was like basically off of the previous or off of the opening price of the regular session. So using that as like a resistance level. And there's a lot of things to like about it. Off the EMA. Kind of in the same spot as where the previous resistance was here, and expecting to close the gap. I really thought it would work for at least my scalp target. It worked for 8 ticks. All right, moving on. All right, if this gets triggered above the opening price, I'm going to take it. If this doesn't work, it'll be the first time in 9 trades that it didn't work at that level. Just gonna move this under here, under this swing. But I've watched this work 9 times in a row, so I decided to take it this time. And I'm gonna pay the price maybe. All right, this is gonna be a bad day for me. I was supposed to only be observing this, but because I've watched it work 8 times in a row, I decided to take it. All right, looks like it's going to be an 0-2 day, which doesn't happen very often. All right. All right. Well, that officially ends my day here because I've got no charts left and a loss on 2 of my PAs. Frustrating day. So let's see. Got like 650, 625 in drawdown on that account. Oh, all right. So that's going to wrap up my day here. Let me update my stats. Should have just gone back to bed like I was thinking. I knew today wasn't a great day for me. And it's really because I didn't take the earlier trades. Like, am I going to get ticked out for it to just go ahead and work? I guess I'll stick around and find out. All right, update my stats here. 0-2 day. And 1-2 for the week. And am I still even 81%? Let's see. Barely 81% still. All right. So this was an example of an area that I'm not supposed to be taking the trade because the signal bar closed right on the opening price. But the previous 8 times I saw a setup like this where the trigger happened above and not below, in this case, it's gone on to work. So this was the first time in 9 trades where the trade didn't work. I decided to take it, obviously because I was influenced by having a loss earlier already and by missing a trade earlier over here. That was the same kind of thing. This was a second entry short that triggered below the previous day high. And so I didn't take it because the bar closed above, but it triggered below and it worked. And I had seen that happen 8 times. So I took this one. The 9th time it did not work. So the reality though is if it's going to work if it's going to not work 1 out of 10 times, then I can take the trade like that. And this was the one time it's not going to work in theory. So all right, so that's going to end a terrible day for me, or it feels terrible just because it's on my 2 PA accounts, but it is what it is. So 0-2 for the day, and 1-2 for the week, and 150 wins and 36 losses overall, so barely 81%. And I'm going to wrap it up. 80% discount still going on through tomorrow, end of the session tomorrow. Use this code or any other. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you want to continue following me on my journey, if you haven't already. And now I'm obviously further away from my goal of my first payout, $1,000 away. Been $1,000 away back and forth. This is like my 3rd or 4th time where I've gone closer and then I bounce back to about this level. Gone closer, bounce back to this level. So the struggle continues to be real. And yeah. I need to finish my day at this time anyway, so would have rather finished it a flat day, but didn't work out that way for me. So anything else? I think I've said it all. Very frustrated, I'm not going to lie, but I'll come back tomorrow and keep grinding. And at least my system is still working where any given loss on any particular day, because I'm going from account to account, no particular loss is going to devastate my accounts or blow me up. And so I'll come back and fight another day. So I think I've said it all. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the support, and be back at it tomorrow, hopefully for a better day.